When I was 8 years old, my dad installed a superpower in me and I had no idea. We're in elementary school and we're going on our first trip. We're leaving with the whole class to go to this kids park, right? After a very exhausting day being a child, we are waiting in front of the bus to head back to class, right? Back to our school. And our teacher comes over and says, "We just got these 5 stuffed animals from the staff here at the park." And the whole class moves over and loses their freaking minds over one of these 5 stuffed animals. It was just an owl. I don't know. It looked like a Pokemon and everybody wanted to have it. So the teacher goes, "When we get back to class, we will do a lottery. Everybody puts their name in a bucket and then one person will get the owl." And so you could imagine that bus ride home, everybody was talking about that freaking owl and who was going to be the lucky one to get it. Me being an 8-year-old child, I wanted it even more because everybody else wanted it. So I started thinking of ways in which I could increase my probability of winning the lottery. I wanted to tamper with the universe at age 8. And I was immediately reminded of something my dad would always tell me with this conviction, with this excitement, which was, if you want something in life, you just gotta tell yourself, "I want it. I want it, I want it, I want it," until you know that you will get it. Over and over. You just keep saying it to yourself over and over again. And so because I didn't have any other options for that whole bus ride until we got back into class, until we wrote our names down on a piece of paper, the lottery started, I was saying to myself, "I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this." For a good 30 minutes, I was just in my own world repeating this sentence. I can tell you that from the 32 names in that bucket, I wasn't surprised when my name was called. Something changed that day, and not because I won a fucking owl against relatively low odds, but because I knew I was going to get it. And so over the course of my life, this seed that was planted, it grew and grew bigger over time, eventually becoming this unwavering sense of confidence. And the only difference, of course, is that we're no longer talking about stuffed animals and owls. We're talking about dating, we're talking about impact with women, we're talking about income and career, and adding major things to my life that I thought were never possible. So I'm going to teach you exactly how you can get anything you want by using your desire. How you can grow it and then cultivate it into an ability to change your reality. We're talking about your social life, your relationship with women, your relationship with money, the milestones in your career right in front of you. This might be my most important video yet. And before we get into everything and the whole process behind it, if you already have something in your mind right now that you want, keep it right there on the foreground, okay? As you watch this video. With that said, let's get into it. So this all begins with desire. And let's get rid of a massive misconception about desire. And this is really, really important. Desire is often regarded as something negative, something to eliminate. We have this chart, I don't know if you've ever seen it, that shows emotional frequency. And strangely, desire is in the lower half. And so let me tell you the difference. You have 2 fundamentally different kinds of desire. You have an expansive kind of desire, which is very powerful. And then you have the lower frequency desire. And the difference is abundance and need. If you experience desire that comes from a need, which says, "I am not complete, and I need that girl, or I need that amount of money to make me complete." And so it is the very lack, it is the very need that changes this desire into something negative, right? But then there is the desire that has belief behind it. It comes from a place of abundance that says, "I'm all right. I'm a complete individual and she is goddamn beautiful. I appreciate that." That is your natural human desire that can transform your life. The most powerful frequency that you can exude to the world around you, as you will see in the steps that will follow later. If you take anything from this video, do not repress your desire. When you repress your natural male sexual desire and judging it as something bad, repressed sexual desire, we know what will happen there, right? A repressed desire for money will keep you poor. You have literally two paths you can choose here to live a life where you love the desire within you and we start circulating and channeling it, or you repress it and it will turn into something ugly. So desire is the driver of evolution. It is the thing that has created everything you can see with your eyes. Everything a man ever did, every skyscraper you see started with desire. Without desire, we are nothing. We will stay at home and we won't do shit. So please, do not repress it. We are going the other way. We're going to use it. The fundamental difference is whether it has belief and abundance behind it, making it an expansive experience, or it comes from a place of lack and need, and I need her, and I need that amount of money. I am not complete. That kind of lack and need makes your desire a low frequency experience. Now, we're choosing the right path. We're going to use that raging desire within you, okay? Let me tell you why desire is power. Desire is potent energy that can be directed at will. When you cultivate desire and you don't repress it, right, then you can project it onto the world. And the world, receiving that energy, will change, will start doing things, whether it be in a social interaction, whether it be with money, it all works the same. Your desire has the potential to affect the world around you. Just like I got that freaking owl. Sexual desire is the most powerful form of desire. So if this all sounds vague, I want you to go back to the last memory you have of you being intimate with a woman. In that moment, can you recall the physical energy that is flowing between you two? That is so distinctive, so out there. It is a physical experience, right? This energy. Now let me give you another one. When you are, the moment where you are walking down the street or you're sitting in the train or on the bus and you exchange eye contact and a smile with a girl that you think is cute. That rush of energy that you feel there in your body, right? That can stay there for 2 days for us men, right? That is what we're talking about. It is the energy, the desire that a simple second of eye contact can convey to another person. Physical weight almost that your desire has the potential to impact and therefore change your reality. Let me give you a very clear and powerful example, an interaction with a girl, right? When studying abroad, on the day that I met my whole class, right, we went on this university tour, and then later we went into the park to hang out and get to know each other a little bit. I immediately noticed this Czech girl that I was into, right? I wasn't the only one. There was another guy that I became very good friends with later on. Much more handsome than I am. I can say that objectively. He told me, yeah, I got my eyes on her too. So as this day escalated from chilling in the park to later going to dinner and then going out, I can tell you that me and that girl didn't have a conversation yet. I also wasn't more handsome than this giga chat here, right? The only thing I had was my desire and the stupid belief that I always have in these situations, which is, you are also into me, right? So the only thing I had was eye contact and small exchanges of a few words, some smiles, like just these little exchanges, right? Where I got to project my desire onto her with this belief behind it. Essentially saying, I want you and you want me. We go out and we are on the dance floor, and guess what? My friend Giga Chat goes over to her before me and starts dancing with her. And in that moment, I still knew that she was gonna come around in a few seconds and come to me. I just knew it, right? Fully aware that I sound very arrogant right now, but she did, right? And so why? What happened here? The only thing that happened is I was able to project, being also on semen retention, a massive amount of energy onto her during that day in these small exchanges, all the time with this belief behind it that she wants me to. This is a pattern that in all the situations where I got what I wanted in a dating scenario, this happens always in the same way, which is I cultivate this desire, which is massively expanded because of semen retention. I'm cool with it, and so I can let her feel it, right? I'll allow her to feel that desire, not in a creepy way, because it doesn't come from need. There is no lack behind it. As I said, it is the belief that comes with that desire that creates this reciprocation that is especially powerful when we're talking about your interactions with women, right? They are much more emotionally aligned than we are. That's why it doesn't even fucking matter what you say. What matters is these small exchanges where you can make her feel that desire of yours with that belief behind it, right? So that makes it expansive and safe. Now, this video isn't exclusive about women and dating, right? So this is just to highlight the exact same mechanism that is happening with money, with your career, with everything that you want. It's always going like this. So now that you know the fundamental difference between these two desires, the power of your desire, and with the story in the background, let's talk about how all of this works. Cultivating belief, cultivating desire to influence the world around you to get what you want. All right? So this is a 3-step process. So first, let's start talking about cultivating that desire. And this is where things get exciting, right? Every big achievement you ever had, every dollar you ever made, every building you see around you, it has been built on desire. That is a statement that you have to wrap around your ears. And I know it's simple, I know you kind of know it, but can you actually feel it, right? The desire that you feel within you literally correlates to what you put out into the world. So, let me ask you, if I could wave a magic wand and I could promise you that I can multiply the amount of desire that lives within your body, within your system, would you say yes? Of course you would. So get on semen retention. If desire is the fire that starts everything, then semen retention turns that fire into a bonfire. And you can tell me, I already have enough desire even if I jerk off every day. Fine. Then you're skipping out on more of it. Your currency, it's your fuel. So if you don't want more of it, fine. But you can cultivate it through semen retention. Semen retention is nothing else than accumulating your sexual desire until it starts spilling over into all areas of your life. It is for the self-improver, the ambitious, the curious man. It makes everything easier and it will get you what you want. The physical process of accumulating sexual desire. So in terms of attracting what you want, whether that be a stuffed animal, that 10K a month, that girl that is missing in your life, then it is exactly your desire that makes all of it happen. It is the velocity behind this whole process of attracting what you want, okay? So if you're already on semen retention, then I have one thing to say to you, and that is connect to it. Because you might be doing very well already, but these moments where you see beauty or this rush of motivation to work an extra 2 hours, feel that desire. I want you to get in touch with it. I'm far, far away from this new standard of repressing your desire as a man. Fuck all of that. Desire is exactly what will get you what you want. So connect to it. That's the only thing here at step 1 when we're talking about cultivating desire. That's the only thing you should be doing right now. Let it flow freely and never suppress it. We'll get into more details around this in step 3. If you're not on semen retention, then guess what? You're in for a treat. Get on your first 30-day streak. Start there. And in that case, subscribe to this channel because one of the next videos will be the most powerful protocol to never relapse again and to make your first 30-day streak. But don't hold back. Start retaining. This desire is going to make you express yourself onto the world. You will not be able to escape it, and everything around you will notice. So get on semen retention. Now that we got the desire part of the equation done, right? Then step 2 is also crucial. Most men don't get what they want because they don't know what they want. Step 2 is to create the most vivid image of precisely what it is you want and not what your algorithms are telling you. All these highlights of other people's lives are training you to create this lack inside of you. And that ruins the purity of our desire, right? We want the strong kind of desire, the expansive powerful, beautiful kind of desire, not the desire that comes from a needy, lackey place, right? This is such a big problem for us men. You kind of want this girl with this big ass. You kind of want this yacht. You kind of want to have this skill that this guy is portraying in this video. You kind of want this money. You kind of want to live in Dubai. Kind of wanting all this meaningless shit, making your desire just a list of objects. You cannot do anything with this because it isn't connected to you. We need to know what you want. So first, please stop scrolling, man, and you will stop training that muscle, right? And your desire will become pure again. Give yourself that favor so that you can start connecting with what you really want. If you cannot tell me at this point in one sentence right now what it is you want, in one clear sentence that anybody hearing it can feel the image. If that's not the case, then you need to connect to what you want. Social media is constantly telling all of us men what we should want. You become a person that gets told by an algorithm what you want. Just because it was those reels that got in front of your eyes, now you want to be in Bali, now you want an Eastern European girlfriend, now you want... Dude, no longer are we gonna scatter ourselves across all these shiny things that we kind of want. It is not saying anything about you. We need to find out what you want, okay? Write down everything that you want. Just a list of 10 things. And then circle the one thing that pops out of it, right? The one thing that when you look at it, yep, I always knew it was kind of that, right? It's the 10K a month while traveling. It's the owning the biggest gym in your city. It is becoming the best salesman in your company, right? It is that one thing. Let's be honest. That one thing that if that would happen this year, then everything would kind of fall into its place automatically, right? That your dating life is definitely gonna improve when you start traveling around making 10K a month with your online business. Let's be honest, right? So let's close the second step with one very simple exercise. You're gonna write down that one thing, one sentence, a clear image that you can feel right here in your heart that you want more than anything. Write it down and let's move on. Then the third step is where everything comes together. Cultivating belief. A few years ago when I thought about traveling around and making money online, enough to sustain whatever I was doing, I felt this, I still feel the rush, obviously, but then it was this fire, man. It was this bonfire of a desire that it's really fun. It's really pleasant to experience, right? It's like this, it's this life force. So as we go into the step, be aware of the fact that it's already here, right? Right now, for you, it is the belief behind your desire that makes its attainment inevitable. It is the belief behind your desire that makes its attainment inevitable. Cultivating belief is a process of becoming accustomed to the image you created in step 2. It is to be no longer intimidated by the image and to become accustomed to it. That is a process of emotional alignment, essentially, right? In the beginning, you have this point A and you have this point B, and you feel distance between it, and so there is cognitive dissonance. When you repeat this image to yourself, when you think about the image, you mostly, at this point, feel the distance between that image and between your current self. Point A, point B, very simple. So for example, if you wrote down, I'm going to run the biggest gym in my city, and you haven't started yet, then obviously you will feel some distance. It's like this cognitive dissonance of, hey, but I'm not really taking action yet, and so when I think of this image, I'm not really moving there yet, right? That's fine, that's totally fine, right? Where you have physical resistance in the gym, this is mental resistance, where in the beginning you feel this distance, and we're gonna get through this in a second. So you feel the distance between point A and point B, which means your emotional state hasn't aligned yet. That's the only difference. You don't feel yet like you are point B. Having the gym, the material part of all of this is the least important. You don't feel yet as if you are the gym owner. That is the thing that we're gonna deal with. The material world follows. It simply follows emotional frequency. We don't give a shit about getting the girl's number or getting to 10K a month, like the physical thing. We care about bridging the gap between point A and B and to remove that distance. So what that means is this, and here's where things get really interesting. as shown in quantum physics, point A and point B already exist, both of them. There is a version of you in point B. If we stick to the gym owner example, that version of you, that man already exists. And you can choose how to think, act, speak, and even feel as that gym owner or as that current version of yourself. If you don't believe in this, or you get this sit on a rock and manifest my dream life kind of itch that I resonate, I used to have this too, then consider this for a second. Adele throws up out of stage fright before every fucking show she does. Somewhere in that process, before she gets on stage, something changes. She becomes from point A, normal family member Adele, turns into Adele, who then performs in front of 80,000 people flawlessly. What is happening here? She decides that she's point B. Wim Hof climbed Kilimanjaro in his fucking shorts. Do you think he did that as citizen Wim Hof? Just a father Wim Hof? No, he became the Iceman. He became Wim Hof, allowing him to do something that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to us. That goes beyond our linear thinking mind. In the same way that I'm in that bus at 8 years old thinking about ways to increase my probability in a lottery. It doesn't make sense. We're tapping into something else here. We're tapping into the frequency, guided by your emotions that virtually guide the universe. So with Wim Hof and Adele in your mind, don't you think that you can become a gym owner and run the biggest gym in your city? That you can become that person? Don't you think that you can become a person who travels the world and lives in Bali and makes 10K a month? You definitely wouldn't be the first to do it. And I'm going to give you the full guide of how I've been doing this in a second. But first, I'd like you to see this as filling out your shirt. When you were younger, you naturally got new clothes and new style, and you became this new improved version of yourself when you filled out your old clothes, right? This is exactly the same. You have to become more than what you are right now. You have to make more noise. You have to take more space. You have to dare to project that raging sexual desire onto the world. Make everyone feel it, turning you into more than that point A. And guess what? When the universe, just like your mom, notices that you need a bigger shirt, she's gonna give it to you. That's how this works. That's what this is. To become that new version who has that image, to want it with such emotional force behind it that you start feeling as that person. And when you start feeling as that person, you're filling out your shirt and you'll get a new one. You don't have to push or pull or convince anyone. You will attract it. Whether it's the girl, whether it's getting rid of perfectionism, whether it's the 10K a month, it doesn't matter. And if this all isn't practical enough yet, then here's the actual routine that allowed me to repeat this process countless times. I've taught every single client I've ever worked with these steps. So you've written down the image, right? The thing you want. The image where all that raging desire multiplied by semen retention is going into that image. If you look at that image, then there is, of course, a man, right? A version of you that's part of it. If the image is running the biggest gym, then it's the guy who has that gym who is part of that image. So describe in the greatest detail this man, this gym owner, this 10K a month traveling dude, whatever. This Casanova, this dating coach, whatever. Describe him so that you know who you're becoming. You'll have your image, you'll have the man you're becoming. Write it down in the greatest detail. And then we start with the actual practice, which is 1, morning alignment. I want you to start every fucking day with this routine. First thing in the morning, you review that image and you read it aloud multiple times as you tap into that raging desire that you feel behind it. You speak it out into the world with that desire behind it for a minute or so, okay? Then you move down on that same paper where you wrote down who that man is. Be, do, have. Who is he? What does he do? What does he have, right? How does he speak? What are his values? What does his perfect week look like? Everything that describes this man who has what you want to have. Okay? And morning alignment, this routine, is you saying in the beginning of the day, I commit myself to being that man. That's all it is. Morning alignment. You're aligning yourself to the man you're becoming. You're telling yourself, this is who I am. And yeah, you might feel this dissonance for a few days, for a few weeks. That doesn't matter. That's the resistance you must go through. And of course, that's not the only thing we're doing here. Where morning alignment starts the day, the second part is behaving, thinking, speaking, acting like that man. That is the second part. The rest of that day, as you promise to yourself during morning alignment, you go out in the world and you fill your shirt. Take space, make noise, project that desire on the world. Everywhere you go, the supermarket, on the street, look people in the eye. Start calling gym owners because, dude, you are a gym owner. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you don't have the gym yet, that the physical gym doesn't exist yet, but you are the gym owner. So start calling gym owners, invite them to lunch, do something, make noise, project your desire. If you keep this all to yourself, if you don't start making noise, then how is the universe ever gonna see that you need a bigger shirt? So to bring it full circle, semen retention gives you the audacity and the credits to actually become that person. It will make your presence be felt everywhere you go. And that's what you want. This all comes from desire that you should never suppress, because desire is the very thing that's going to create this reality for you. Everything we talked about in this video starts with desire. So get on retention, accumulate that sexual desire. Then second, create that image, that one sentence that everybody, including you, can understand and feel as you say it. The one thing you want. Who's that man, who's that version of you who has that image? Then go out into the world, you align yourself every morning to that man, to that version of you. You project your desire, you take space, you make noise, mobilizing resources. And never forget, your influence on this world goes beyond the obvious. You can influence more than you think. And it all starts with desire. So go out in the world and make your presence be felt. Make some noise, cause a ruckus, and take what's yours. So, I hope you enjoyed that video. If all this resonates with you, of course, you should subscribe. You should be part of this movement. If you consider yourself a little bit of a digital renaissance man, someone who is a self-improver, curious, ambitious, wants to mobilize his skills and resources, and you want to do that by building an online business using digital leverage, there is still a few spots open to do all of that, not for a coaching program of 5 to 10K, but at the cost of a cheap concert ticket. That is the vision behind this membership, to create a group of digital renaissance men that make this happen together. Check it out in the description. And if you want to learn more about taking space using semen retention and with women, then you have to check out this video or this one. I don't know. Have fun with it and take care of yourself. Cheers.